Welcome to the circle today. Actually, today this is a bonus service. We were planning not to do anything for the middle of the week of July, but we decided to do this service in advance. I hope you like our new format, and I hope that you like the fact that you can download a document with links so that you can enjoy part of the service in a written format and part of it in a spoken format. Today we will be talking about life. As you know, July the 4th is the day that we all celebrate Independence Day in the United States of America. This was the day when the United States officially broke away from the colonizers, the British Empire, in order to become its own country. The main reason for this was because the people were being taxed, but they weren't getting equal representation over in England, and they were also being controlled by a small elite group of people who took the power from them in order to just use the citizens that had settled here in the United States as cattle or as slavery or as workhorses in order to make money, in order to produce resources that would be taken back to England, sold for a great profit, over and over again, leaving those who did most of the hard work poor and destitute, alone, fighting for survival against the native people of this country. And so people were fed up. People decided to revolt and begin their own country to get away from the power of King George and the nobles, to get away from the final parts of the feudal system that didn't give people equal justice. Now we find ourselves fighting against the exact same system today, of course. Nowadays, we don't call people nobility, we call them CEOs. We call them Wall Street employees. We call them senators, we call them representatives, we call them presidents, we call them by all different types of titles. But we find in this country that there is an elite group of people making all of the money right now, owning most of the resources, while most of us find ourselves struggling in order to try to make it from one day to the next. We find that the spirit of King George is still alive, and all over the world we find that people are being put down, oppressed. Public properties are being sold off to the highest bidder. People are being disempowered. They're being charged more taxes, while tax breaks are being given to the people with the most money. We have walls being broken down as government and corporations become one, and the new model of fascism moves across the land. These are dark times. These are fearful times. Many of the politicians talk about the 4th of July. They talk about Independence Day. They are patriotic. They talk about being called by God and being good Christians. They talk and talk very much about it. But when we look at their deeds, we find they are completely opposite of what they're saying. We find that they are working to disempower all of us, to break down all of the progress that was made over the last 200 years, and to take us back into a state of serfdom. We find that they are not Christian but antichrist, for they are against Christianity. They are against the main doctrine of the prophet Jesus that said, love thy neighbor as you love thyself. It says to take care of the poor, to plead the cause of the widow, to stand up for the orphan. All of these things are the core of Judaism and Christianity, but they're being thrown by the wayside by people who work to punish the poor, to take advantage of women, to make the senior citizens destitute, to divide and conquer us by playing one race against the other, or playing immigrants against poor, struggling, working class white people, or playing the middle class against the working class, while those who are making more than $250,000 a year are living it up, riding our backs as though we are the new millennial slaves. And so we come together this day in order to suggest something new. We want to suggest that we begin to break down the walls that divide us. We begin to look deeply inside of ourselves and to trace back all of the hatred and the fear and the prejudices we have about other people, so that we can dismantle them, so that we can get rid of that fear, and so that we can walk in love and truth and justice, and the first type of love being understanding who we truly are, coming to a place where we realize that we are all divine sparks in this universe. We are all centers of the universe, a vast, beautiful universe, and inside us we contain the wisdom and the knowledge of the gods. It is time for us to realize that we need not do anything to make it to the top. We need not do anything to be good except put away the false teachings, put away the false learning, put away the angry behaviors that we have had to adopt in order to survive on this earth, in an angry world full of hungry ghosts who eat and eat and eat but can never be filled. People with billions and billions of dollars who just have to make more, people who have enough money to support the lowest GDP, the countries with the lowest GDP, 40 of the lowest countries, who just don't have enough still, who have to make more. These people are the hungry ghosts. They are sick, and somehow through the socialization they have given us, they have fed that greed and that sickness into us, or else they have fed the idea that we are weak and worthless if we are not like them. The truth is that I am and you are the light of the world. You are the salt of the earth, that which preserves, that which melts the ice and the coldness. You are the city of God, for within you that divine essence, that divine being called God dwells. You and God, underneath all of the garbage and lies, are one. So what do? We find a way to love ourselves. We find a way to understand ourselves. We find a way to get rid of all of the lies and the injustices. We understand that most of the doublespeak and most of the tricky PR campaigns are lies. They are geared in order to reach our subconscious without our conscious being able to fight against them. We learn not to believe everything we hear because we learn about love. The love that pulls together differing people, the love that can pull together every human being, so there is no Jew or no Gentile, no male or female, no rich or poor, no black or white or colored. They're just people all walking together, all working together in harmony, in justice. For the idea of justice in the Hebrew Bible was not the scales. The idea was everyone moving like a mighty river, all in one direction. Yes, there could be many streams and little eddies and currents along the way, but as long as we all move in the right direction, we get where we should be. And along the way, along the banks, everything that we touch begins to grow and begins to live until we finally come to that place where we have returned to the source from which we come, We have returned to the original mind that we were born with, that one-pointed single mind that goes beyond the dualism of this world and the materialism of this world to the understanding of what life really is and who we really are. Divine, beautiful creations. And when we have done this, we can take our energy, instead of using it to build empires for those who do not love and do not care, we can begin to build community, to build life, to build a place where we can live in peace and truth and justice in our families and in our own communities. It is time for us to begin to stick together as a community, to live, break down the walls, and become empowered to make the changes necessary for us to enjoy true life. How can we do this? By sharing the resources that we have, sharing the thoughts, sharing the ideas, sharing work opportunities, sharing food, sharing whatever is necessary in order to create that kingdom of heaven, that rule of the embodiment in love on earth now, as it is in heaven. We don't have to wait for anyone to do this. It all starts right here and right now with each and every one of us. For the most important thing is to become independent this Independence Day by breaking down all of the lies and all of the greedy, fearful emotions that have been planted in our hearts and minds and souls. And as we do this, we will be free. And we will be free to help others live a life full of joy and peace and contentment. This will be our legacy to the world. The legacy that only a creator can bring about. It's very good talking with you, and I hope that all will be well for you this July. Namaste.